Hello everyone. Today we will be explaining the how unsafe it is to be a pedestrian at USC. The University of South Carolina is situated within walking distance from the South Carolina State House, SCDOT, and the Columbia Police Department. Yet it has never been more unsafe to be a pedestrian. Students face dangers every day as they walk from class to class in our urban campus. In the past years, traffic violations, automobile accidents, and car pedestrian accidents have increased. Through our research, we found that to secure our pedestrians, we must simply pay closer attention to detail. Now, Molly is going to explain the problem.
So the problem with reckless driving around Columbia does not only affect over 50,000 students of the university, but also affects 410,000 local residents, the faculty and staff of the university, and visitors of the city. So what does dangerous driving include, and who is affected and how, you may be asking? So according to Business Insider, South Carolina is in the top 5 worst states to drive in, along with California, Minnesota, Utah, and Washington. So the South Carolina Traffic Collision Factbook had recorded in 2016 that 141,599 collisions were reported. 101,685 of those reported collisions were due to drivers driving too fast. Keep in mind that a lot of our data refers to the state, but we need to use the state data to be specific to the university since there's not exact university data. Reckless driving leads to a dangerous pedestrian environment, especially for students. So we conducted a survey with 100 students from the university about their opinion on traffic safety on campus, and 82.8% said they do not believe drivers obey traffic signs in Columbia. 70% of people admitted to speeding around the university. And then some quotes that people said that make it difficult for drivers is that pedestrians don't obey traffic signs, making it stressful for drivers sometimes. And the roads are so narrow here and there are very few turning areas, which make it difficult to turn when the pedestrians are prevalent in the area. So many students have got hit by vehicles on their way to class because drivers are careless and do not pay enough attention. So has anyone in the room been hit by a car? Okay, I've been hit by a car. I had the right of way, and unfortunately I got hit by a car, and it just kind of made me feel. Now I'm really take a lot of precaution before walking into a crosswalk, even though I was in a crosswalk and I was supposed to be safe. But which leads me to my next point, that the crosswalks here are outdated and unsafe all around the university. 25 fatalities where people were entering a crosswalk, and there were 126 non-fatal injuries. So these were people were in a crosswalk and they got hit when the crosswalk is supposed to protect you, which is why we need to update them. Our crosswalks are not clearly marked, and people feel unsafe walking through them. So now that you understand what the problem is and how serious it is, Michael will now discuss the solution to our problem. Our solution to this problem has 3 steps. We need more traffic signs on and around campus. The crosswalks need to be updated so that they're effective and efficient, and we need to instill some values in the UN01 curriculum.
So our first step was more campus signs, and we just went around for cost, and it will cost approximately $52 per sign, which is fairly cheap considering in total, this is kind of a crazy statistic, but Richland County lost $4.53 million on traffic collisions in 2016. Another thing is a study that was done by Cornell states that due to human memory, speed limit signs should be placed about every 1,100 feet, or every fifth of a mile, basically. And then even personally, Assembly Street, I drive that every day to get to class, and there's 2, and it's almost a 2-mile long road. So I think it's just ridiculous that these aren't being put into place like they should be. As part of our solution, we want to crack down on how often speed limit signs are posted, as they're needed more often on several on and off-campus places to crack down on speeding. We also want to put these signs in places that could potentially be hazardous, such as steep hills and sharp turns, because everybody here knows when it rains here, and it rains a good amount, the roads get really slippery, and you kind of always hear sirens going on, like right after it rains, because people are crashing all over the place. And the like most dangerous points are definitely like steep valleys and like sharp turns. So we need to post signs in those areas so that we're able to more effectively show that or not show, but more effectively make sure people are being safe on the roadways. After some research, we have established that the crosswalk timing would be very cheap to change, as it would only cost like a brief labor charge, because it's just changing time periods on not only the crosswalk times but the lights themselves. And replacing them as a whole would cost a bit more. It'd be about $74 for a system and the labor, which is it's again not as much as the crazy $4 million statistic that I just spoke of. There are several instances on campus, such as Greek Village Crosswalk, where there are less than 10 seconds to cross the street, and quite simply, it's just not enough time. Like, people need more time to walk across the street, and there's large amounts of people going through those areas at those times. So it's nearly impossible to get everybody across in the right amount of time. We understand that this is because of traffic lights and trying to reduce traffic. What does that say about our prioritization of who needs to be safest, the traffic people or the pedestrians who could potentially be hit by these cars? So now that you know what the solution is, Mackenzie is going to discuss how our solution solves the problem.
So our solution of putting up more speed limit signs, updating the crosswalks, and informing U101 students will solve the problem early on, especially with the U101 thing. Problem of dangerous driving and walking conditions for pedestrians and drivers, because it will reduce speeding around campus and make walking procedures safer. So with the more speed limit signs, drivers will not speed as much because they don't have the excuse of not knowing what the speed limit is. We would think that a lot of people speed just because they don't know how fast they're supposed to be driving because there's not a lot of signs. So just being aware of the speed limit will make people feel guilty for going over. I know personally, if I see that the speed limit's 25 and I'm going 40, I'm going to feel a little guilty for going that much over. So just kind of make them speed a little less because they know what the speed limit is. And then some more frequent reminders of what the speed is will suggest to drivers that they adhere to the speed limit more than they were before without having those signs there. And then updating the crosswalks will also help solve this problem by eliminating pedestrian confusion as to when to walk. So making sure all the crosswalks have a working walk sign will ensure the pedestrians know for sure when it is safe for them to walk. Because sometimes even if you do press the button, the walk sign does not come up, even when it's there right away. So, and then more signs that warn drivers of upcoming crosswalks will increase driver awareness of pedestrians and hopefully lower the number of close calls and pedestrian collisions that occur. So when the drivers see the crosswalk sign, they'll pay more attention to their driving and be more cautious coming up to those crosswalks and heavy pedestrian areas. And then adding to the U101 curriculum will help a lot with making sure freshman students are aware of safe driving and walking procedures early on so they can implement those through their 4 years here at Carolina. So we would definitely want to start early to improve those conditions with our students. And just spreading awareness will make everyone more aware of how to be safer driving and walking around campus.
Students at this university they aren't just South Carolinians. They hail from almost every state, country, and background. So it's imperative to keep these Gamecocks safe. We believe that taking these precautions will save lives. Posting more traffic signs, educating out-of-state drivers, and reinforcing current signs are simple ways to make a lasting impact. If anyone in the crowd has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Should we stop it?
Yeah.
Or should we say something about sources?